Ken Cuccinelli is the newly appointed acting director of an immigration agency few had ever heard of until he took over. Citizenship and Immigration Services primarily processes applications to live, work, and seek asylum in the U.S., but Cuccinelli is elevating its profile.
I want to talk a little bit about your relationship with President Trump, because you have in many ways kind of become the face of his immigration policy.
God help him.
Tell me about that relationship.
The president was pretty emphatic. He wanted to see us educating people and telling them why what we're doing is the right path for America and for Americans, and to clear up, frankly, a lot of the misinformation that had been out there for a long time.
As the president moves to make immigration the centerpiece of his election strategy, Cuccinelli's stock is only expected to rise. The former Attorney General of Virginia, he's a staunch conservative who has long advocated the federal government get tough at the border, but not without compassion, as he recalls seeing this photo.
I have a grandson that age, and I have 7 kids of my own. Who isn't moved by that? But then it causes us to ask the question, why did this happen? And there are 2 basic answers to that. On a personal level, this father made a decision. He made a decision that in this country would be child neglect, and it cost both him and his daughter their lives. And that's something to be very sad about. At a higher level, we ask, well, what brought him to make that decision? And what brought him to make that decision is in large part these massive loopholes that stand out there as an attraction to people outside our country to try to come through.
His agency has a backlog of 300,000 asylum requests.
And we are so swamped.
And the Department of Justice is wading through some 500,000 more.
We're trying to unbury ourselves systematically so we can let the good ones in. And by good ones, I just mean people who have traditional asylum claims, who have persecution for religious reasons or political reasons. And
Cuccinelli is also part of the team advising the president on the number of refugees the U.S. should take in the coming year. This as the global persecution of Christians and other religious minorities grows at an alarming rate, and refugee requests are likely to increase.
Some of the president's advisors are suggesting that in the next fiscal year, the U.S. accept no refugees, or perhaps drastically lower number.
No one should mistake the debate about refugee numbers for a conclusion about where the Trump administration is on humanitarian care for those coming to our country or asking to come to our country.
Do you feel that God has placed you here for such a time as this?
Well, I think God has His plans for all of us, and if you'd asked me a year ago, did I expect to be here, the answer surely would have been no. But God has His own plans. I'm proud to be here. I'm glad the President asked me to come help.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.